Everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. My apologies if you're seeing something called demo mode. Just got to upgrade this new recording software, but hoping to do that later on in the next few days. But in the meantime, what I want to show you is the usual market analysis, but with a twist today. Some very interesting conversation came up on my Telegram group. Today is Thursday, December 6th, 2018. Other thing that is important to recognize is how the markets, yet once again, as the markets reopen on Thursday after being closed yesterday due to the Bush funeral, you can see how clearly the markets are just getting clobbered here, all in the red. Crude oil down 3.31%. Very few green assets for whatever reason. So what are we going to do about it? As you know, I don't really care about the losers. I'm not in that shorting business yet. I hope to be one day because it just doubles your profit opportunity. So the first thing we need to look at is crypto. Crypto is in a way coming back. Let me just show you the hourly moves. This is part of my thing on my Telegram group. But you can clearly see we have some good moves here with BNB, both Ethereum and BTC up 16% with BNB against Ethereum, 9.59% BNB BTC, and then you even get into XRP Ethereum at 6.27, WAN at 2.6, and so on. And you have those are the more better movers out there. So clearly there is opportunity in crypto if you follow the methodology of literally just chasing after opportunity here. Volume is another factor that makes a huge difference. Here we have in gray number 6, LTC Ethereum. So some news going on that's driving that volume, but again, when you compare it back to the moves on the hourly, it's clearly not a huge factor. It's up 0.5% with all that volume. But meanwhile, you are denying yourself all these other opportunities, as I mentioned. So let me keep up those charts for now. What I want to show you now is the CFDs. CFDs is interesting because you'll quickly see how bad the markets are, as we all know currently, as in here. You can see all the negative. The only ones that are doing anything well is oil, USD, WTI, oil, and gold at 1.46. That's the only one that's a kind of a predictable move. It'd be interesting to see where this goes on the HK33 if that does get clobbered because of the US markets. And again, when you look at the volume here, you can clearly witness that where the volume is probably on the downside with the US markets here. As you can see, US 30, NASDAQ 100, US 2000, Russell, and the next one is the XAUSD at 9.44% volume for that. Okay, so let's move over to Forex. Forex is always an interesting character or asset class, but when you look at the movers right now, oops, wrong one. Just kill that. Okay. So again, we bring up the similar charts on the movers right now. You can clearly see once again, Euro, Turkish lira up 3.28%, Swiss franc against the South African rand 3.16, and again British pound against the rand 2.89%, and the US dollar against the lira, Turkish lira 2.89, and again the volume speaks for itself, and I'm going to offer you my opinions here in a minute. Now you can clearly see where the number one volume is on the Euro Turkish lira. That has been consistent for the last few days. Number two is the Swiss franc and the against the rand at 3.53%. So what does this tell you? Here, there's some form of predictability, but it's tough to trade. And when you also factor in that ugly spread of let me just see here if I can find it. Euro, this one here. The spread is very unpredictable. Right now, it's tight, but most of the time, there is a spread cost there that you need to factor in. But when you factor that in, you still may be able to take a bit of risk and still even profit further. So always keep that in mind. Okay, so now let's go on to what I want to talk about here is random walk theory. This is basically the market's random walk of what I would consider the negative moves or whipsaws that go against you that just come out of nowhere randomly. Yesterday I showed a video on my YouTube channel which was quite evident of this, but this is again predictable as a behavior of what happens in the markets. If you watch this video I put up yesterday, close real-time charting with QT5, Python, and Chart Director, you can clearly see that those charts, this chart on a minute-by-minute basis, as you can see here, the price does move up, but tick by tick by tick, minute by minute, you can see it starting to come off, and you know it's going to fall. And that's what the RSI, the rate of change, shows you. And that's why I use those indicators as my top indicators to kind of forecast that. The other thing that I know, if you should be aware of, is the whipsaws. Whipsaws are very important as I track those. I don't think I keep a file on it. Well, let me take you into the system logs. So as an example, if I go into, let me think here. Yeah, let me go into the Forex. Forex is always a good example of this. Yeah, always helps to get things prepared. Python, Oanda, working, Oanda, Pi, source. Okay. So if I look at, there's two CSVs here, there should be, okay, they're not there, no problem. If I go into the report data for Forex, we should see it. CFD whipsaw. Okay, my system will delete it, but I can easily generate that by running this particular script. We're doing Forex, so it'll generate it in no time. So now I should have my whipsaw. There it is, whipsaw FX. So now, if let me pull up turn that into a spreadsheet so you can see what's going on here. And I analyze this. So here, what you're finding are the whipsaws over the last half an hour. It's 2:01 my time, and these are 13:37. So we've had 3 whipsaws, and I typically log those, and I can show you that from the technical point of view on my Redis. I track those all the time actually. I just only take the last couple hours. So if I go in, make sure I got the freshest. Right here. So these are like compiled throughout the database. So if I look, I don't think this is not a very smart client, but if I look for anything that has 12 December 6th right here, we can see that the latest batch is at 1 in the morning. This one Euro ZAR, which we knew is the #1 most profitable, or one of the most profitable. We can also see here the Swiss franc against the the South African rand as well. There was a whipsaw there. So with me tracking these, it helps protect my decision and minimizes my decision on taking bad trades. And this is how I go about it. Here I have a watch list. This watch list only will, basically it's a new mechanism that I've built into my watch list, which I've never done before, but it helps filter out the bad potential trades of what I call the whipsaws that will go against me over the last 6 to 8 hours. So basically that means if I take on any of these trades, corn USD, USB 30-year, these are the values. I have cross-referenced them against the whipsaws, and there have been none over the last 6 to 8 hours. As a result, these they're not guaranteed, but they're way safer to trade because they have not had any whipsaws for the last 6 to 8 hours. The same on the crypto side, same on the watch list. But here on the crypto, the only one that has not had a whipsaw is this one, XRP Ethereum. So if I look at the XRP, I'll just pull up the crypto. If I pull up the movers, meaning XRP Ethereum, let me just show you the hourly. Just go back where I want to go. Downloads. Okay, well, I don't want that. Okay. Okay, so this is where I was. Right here. If I pull up this chart, okay, and I look at, and I do a cross-reference. So here are my movers. Yeah, they may move. The only one that's worth taking the trade for, according to my watch list, is this one, XRP Ethereum. Why? Because it was not on the watch list, right? So knowing that, let me just go into that, look for that whipsaw. There's numerous ways I can go about doing it, but just go to the appropriate directory here. Docs, documents, Python, Binance. Boy, I'm really bad today. Binance, thank you. And then we want report data. And in there should be a crypto whipsaw. No, it doesn't exist, no problem. Let's see if that exists here. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we can open that. So here's the whipsaws, the most recent set of whipsaws on my crypto. So once again, if I open up those pairs, just get rid of that. We can clearly see here's the whipsaws. BNB Ethereum had a whipsaw. BNB Bitcoin had a whipsaw. BNB Ethereum had a whipsaw. So these two are taken out. The only other one that had a whipsaw was the WAN Ethereum. Okay, so I purposely make sure, because I know what I can expect out of crypto, ignore all of these other pairs because, 1%, they may not be worth to take on because they may have whipsaws as well. But the one out of the lot that has no whipsaw, as you can see, that is on my watch list here, XRP Ethereum, is got right now, or was a little while back, at 6.27%. So based on that, it sits there on the watch list waiting for an opportunity to come along, using RSI rate of change for an opportunity to open up and take on the trade, hopefully get a profitable trade. That's where luck comes in. But again, then I have what brought me to this definition of random walk. That is what I now have to work with. I have eliminated all processes as much as possible to eliminate these bad, high probability trades, positions I could take on that will move against me because of whipsaws. And I've been tracking those for well over a year. I have no control over that. So if I look at the charts, again in crypto, as an example, let me show you here. So this is the hourly moves over the last hour that there are clearly whipsaws here, but for the last 3 hours, nothing to get all shook up about. So it's a 6 p.m. But again, even I like the system will allow the but you can see this down this big whipsaw right there. I lose a lot of money taking on that trade. So that should not be there theoretically, but it still needs to take on a bit of risk to get some kind of performance, as opposed to some of the other ones, namely, yeah, these other ones are not on there, but these are the most profitable ones. So as it stands, that's what we're working with. Or let me just hang on here. Let me just confirm something. So okay, it's XRP against Ethereum. Let me see if I can produce that chart. Okay, let's go remember which one to run. I think there's so many scripts here to watch, and that's why I'm building an interface to kind of manage these. It gets kind of crazy. Let's see here. What do I have? It's usually a download 1 day. Oh, I remember. Okay, so I'd have to run CCXT. Okay, so we want XRP. Not sure if it's this one. Okay, I can't remember the parameters. Give me a second here. Okay, there we go. So I got to run Python 3 to generate this chart. Oh no, damn! I'm not too. Here we go. Python chart crypto 1 hour, and if I'm not mistaken, I have to put in XRP Ethereum. No such file. Okay. Anyways, I'm not gonna. Oh boy. Chart. Let's see if that works. PNG file, nano. What? Yeah, I don't know. I could easily look at it, but I'm not going to do it in this file or in this video. Anyways, that's the theory. That's what's supposed to happen here. But it's always random walk that goes against you. And as it stands right now, that's what I use, and all these different methodologies to protect the trade. And as I said, I've shown you the real-time chart on a minute-by-minute basis. So that brings in another level of regularity. Let me just see if in my reports, this is so much stuff that I track now. It's crazy. So let's see what videos are. So we got here. So I can do filtered on volume. Yeah, let me do this report long. Okay. And we want to look at XRP Ethereum. These are big files. Okay. So nothing's in there. Funny, ain't that? Okay. So says no longing opportunities right now. DocX. So we have lots of shorting opportunities. I can tell that. Yeah, there's no charts being created for any of these other documents. This is shorts. Ain't that wild? I'm just trying to think to what I can run to generate a report. Right now, I can always check to see how the crypto is doing. All the major big ones with the pairs. Okay, here we go. So these are the returns on an hourly basis. So not too bad. The Bitcoin is up 1.4%. Litecoin's up as well. I'm just trying to think of what. Let's see if I run that chart crypto, what that does. Yeah, so it's looking for, what was it, XRP Ethereum. And just bitched. Out of range, PN. Ooh, I don't know. I'm not touching that. And it was enough blabbing, just doing random thoughts here, I guess you could say, but also at least showing you at the beginning of this video what looks good. All right. Hopefully I'll talk to you out later. If you've got questions, let me know.